I don't know how many of you TABB Forum viewers know, but our offices here at TABB Group are right outside Zuccotti Park, where the movement Occupy Wall Street has been having their gatherings for the last several weeks now. So we thought we'd bring a couple of folks up from the movement up to talk about what they're doing and some of the driving forces behind the movement itself. So joining me today is Colby Hopkins and Faith Laugier from Occupy Wall Street. Guys, thanks for coming by and talking to us. So first of all, just wanted to know, you guys have been out there for about 3 weeks or so. Wondered if you could tell me a little bit about kind of what what kind of brought the group together.
Well, I would say the current state of the nation and all the socioeconomic problems that we're clearly facing. And that's pretty much, yeah, what I can say is like the resounding, things spoken about between everyone while we're out there.
Yeah.
And definitely like something that we're seeing is troubling our nation when we have 41 million Americans, which is a record-setting number of people on food stamps. I mean, there's so many like different factors, people losing their homes at record rates, unemployment at record rates, like the highest rates in a generation. I mean, there's just like so many like problems that I think, the people
It's reached a boiling point.
Have reached a point where they're like, they want to stand. And,
Okay.
There's a general sense of disenfranchisement that Faith is talking about, and I think that, with online resources being what they are, with Twitter and Facebook and whatever, it's somebody just has to, set a pitch like, hey, let's gather.
Right.
And then once people find out that other people are gathering, they're like, hey, I'm angry also. Let me go down and see what they're talking about. And so it just snowballs like that. So that's how the movement sort of is progressing rapidly.
Can you tell me a little bit about kind of some of the the motivating factors? I mean, you talk about sort of the economic situation. I mean, are there other things that are kind of driving the group and the discussions that are taking place down there day in and day out?
I think the disenfranchisement is highly the economic situation.
Right.
So, the whole Wall Street aspect of it is there's sort of an institutionalized system that accumulates wealth for a very small number of people and in a small number of institutions. So it's not just the wealthy versus the poor, it's also the big banks versus the local banks. The international, multinational corporations, like we were discussing before about like there's this Monsanto doing all the agriculture. What about the little farms, the family farms, things like that? So there's a sense that there's this accumulation of wealth and power for a very small number of people, and then that also has implications for our political system. So everybody knows, the lobbying power of these corporations. So it's the economic sort of feeling of disempowerment, and then that's impact on your political voice.
Right.
So that's what drives the movement. On people here, we're creating a space for people to gather and sort of have an actual physical space for them to come and have their voice heard. Okay. And it's like a horizontal democracy where people can come, they can be heard, and they can start to network with other people. Because there's a huge divergence of different political opinions, philosophies, and we have this umbrella idea that all of that is accepted. So whatever you think, wherever you fit on that spectrum of society, economics, and politics, you come and you can find like-minded people, and you can create your own thing.
Right.
Within that greater umbrella of like, everybody's positions are acceptable.
Right.
We just don't really accept like hate speech and things like that.
Right. Well, that's good to hear.
It's got to be like you allow other people to have a voice also.
So have discussion around these issues, come up with some solutions perhaps, and different ways of doing things.
Yeah. The solution stage is still a bit off, I think. I think a lot of it right now is people are sharing opinions. I was talking earlier, I think that a lot of it, like right now, like this whole question of the demands and the moving forward, and a lot of it is we're creating a movement. We're raising awareness, we're gathering voices, because we're trying to represent such a large number of the population that it takes a long time to gather those people in and give them the place to talk and then hear what they have to say before you can really start to respond.
Right, okay.
Although there is some general themes and threads.
Right, good. Now, final question. So TABB Forum is a community of folks who work on Wall Street and in capital markets, in the business, from kind of across the spectrum. And I wondered if you guys had any specific, message or anything specific to say to our audience, about what you're doing and the ideas behind it.
Okay.
I guess I would like to say that we do have a unifying factor in all of our being there, and that's that we'd like to see change, and it's change for the better and amelioration of all peoples and this earth. And and also I'd like to say it's not just Wall Street but the system, and that needs change, that needs a certain degree of humanity brought to importance again, instead of keeping policies that work as a detriment to peoples, to families, to our earth, and basically our future generations and our progeny. And we have to care about these things.
Right.
And it's my hope that we're able to establish principles and a foundation that's set on principles actually of brotherhood and equality and care. We live in a society that people are willing to walk by someone sitting there that's homeless and who knows how many days he hasn't eaten.
Right.
We're willing to live in a society that we know people are making sneakers and they're 12 years old or 6 years old and getting paid 8 cents a day. And we're living in a society where we have an electric car, that's being suppressed for an outdated fossil fuel and keeping, a company where it is and just halting progression and
so
technology.
It's not working for the people.
And on so many fronts, there's this potentiality in life on Earth that's being stunted. And the other thing, the collective of people that are outside the studio and staying out there in the cold through the night, they're humans, and we have to bring back humanity and compassion and care that people are trying to assert themselves in some way and stand up and say enough is enough, look at me, hear me, be human, and that's what I'd like to definitely draw attention to, not only everybody on Wall Street but everyone in the White House, everyone in a place of power.
This isn't stuff you can measure with numbers, the humanity.
Yeah.
Please,
can I also address the Wall Street question? Well, first, I just wanted to say something I probably should have said at the beginning, but that Faith and I speak for ourselves. We're part of the movement. We're not the movement.
Okay.
And you really can't find any one person outside that can speak for everybody.
Right.
That's just the nature of it.
Okay.
So that's sort of like an umbrella theme. We all kind of have our own individual opinions.
Without a doubt, everyone's
there are some themes. Yeah. No, there is some themes. That's what she said is true. I mean, the human element, I don't think anybody argues with what she just said. I'm just want to make it clear that we're not leadership is basically what I'm saying. There's no leadership. It's everybody's sort of has a say.
Right.
But of course, everybody, I think, even Wall Street folks agree with what Faith just said.
Right, because certainly there are some ideas that have brought you all together.
Right. Just, what she said did sum that up.
Right.
You can't measure humanity in these economic factors. But to the Wall Street folks, I want to say that a lot of them are part of us. They're workers too. We make a sort of a distinction between the Wall Street system and the owners and the institutions that run Wall Street versus, I know a lot of stock traders that lost their jobs in the economic recession.
Right, sure.
Some of them still looking for work. It could happen to anybody. And just because you're on Wall Street, wearing a suit and making a good pay doesn't mean you're separate from this movement.
Right.
You're part of this movement. If you don't feel comfortable coming down to the march, you can send us food. We have numbers online where people can order us pizza or food, send stuff. We need blankets, tarps, anything like that. So there's a lot of ways anybody can help, but we just want those folks, the workers, to know that we're not anti them in any way. They're part of the movement. We're 99%, so there's only a very limited amount of people we can say, yeah, you're not really part of it.
And what's the website, Colby?
We have, you can find us at
Occupy
Wall Street.
ST.
It's just ST.
Okay.
.org.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's, we have a live stream link off of that, which is the our 24-hour stream of all our media. And we also have the site for the General Assembly, which is nycga.cc.
Okay.
And that's also, there's a link to that on the Wall Street site as well.
Great. Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys coming by and telling us a little bit more about it, helping educate us, not only here at TABB Group, but also, TABB Forum, our members, about, the movement Occupy Wall Street and what's happening there, and how you guys have come together, and kind of where you're hoping to take this. So I think it's been a great discussion. So again, my guests today have been Colby Hopkins and Faith Laugier from Occupy Wall Street. My name is Greg Crawford. I'm the editor of TABB Forum. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.